It's 62 days to election 2020. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. And this bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios. Here in Kokomlemle is a digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Max in Takrade. We're around the world at myjoyonline.com. In this edition, President Akufo-Addo tasked EC chairperson to ensure the 2020 general elections are credible, saying he doesn't want to be a president of a crooked elections.
Elections are not meant to be decided by you or the officials that work for you. I am not interested in any crooked result. I do not want to be a president elected by deceit. I look forward to a contest that will be.
We have more from that as Electoral Commission sets up legal and IT technical teams to validate nomination forms of aspiring candidates for the December 7 polls. NPP Vice Chairman exposed in sale of outboard motors subsidized by the government for fishermen.
They asked us to remove our money to another bank. That's how they put it.
We'll tell you how the activities of party executives are undermining government's efforts to assist canoe fishermen. Law students revived calls for opening up legal education after 1,045 out of 2,763 candidates passed this year's law school entrance exams, a huge improvement in the 2019 record.
They bring in another language. That's it. You hear Nemo that's called non habit. Nemo what is the meaning of that? Say, look at my face. Why do you now feel the need to now come and speak a language that they didn't born me with to me? Have I finished understanding English? No.
And in sports,
we'll bring you reactions to Thomas Partey's deadline day £45.3 million move from Atletico Madrid to Arsenal.
And later in the ongoing National Science and Maths quiz, Opoku-Wari School crushes Accra Academy in fair semi-final contest, denying them an opportunity to reach the finals. We have that and more in this edition of the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Please stay for details. And we start off from the election headquarters here on the Midday News. President Akufo-Addo has tasked the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, to ensure the 2020 general elections are conducted in transparent, credible and fair manner. According to him, he doesn't want to be a president or a winner of a crooked elections. He made these comments as he filed his nomination at the Electoral Commission's offices a while ago. So the Electoral Commission opened the filing of presidential and parliamentary nominations from October 5 to October 9, 2020. The Commission has pegged filing fee for presidential candidates at 100,000 Ghana cedis, while parliamentary candidates will pay 10,000. After filing his nomination, the President has been speaking.
Elections are not meant to be decided by you or the officials that work for you. You are the referees of the contest. The election is supposed to be decided by the people of Ghana. And we're hoping that the arrangements that you have put in place will enable the Ghanaian people to manifest their will on the 7th of December and choose the next government of the Fourth Republic. So far, the work that you have done has given considerable confidence to the majority of people in our country that in you and in the leadership of the Electoral Commission, we have people who are committed to a free, fair, credible and transparent process. We hope that that will mark the conduct of the elections of 7th December.
Now, as President Akufo-Addo, let's go live to the EC headquarters where presidential correspondent Elton Brobe joins us on the line. I guess it's official now. The president is a candidate for the upcoming polls. What more has he been saying to the media?
Right, so Emefa, he has one more step to go before he can fully be declared candidate for the MPP for the December 7th general elections, because the Electoral Commission will now have to scrutinize the documents before passing judgment on his candidature for December 7th elections. But for him, he doesn't want to be a beneficiary of any skewed election. He's counting on the Electoral Commission to conduct a free, fair polls, and that the will of the people will be respected as far as he is president. He mentioned, for example, that since the MPP as an institution has been at the forefront of electoral reform since the country returned to constitutional rule in 1992, and he's hoping to hold this gate together with his running mate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to ensure that the democratic credentials Ghana has attained will be respected during these particular elections. But for the Electoral Commission, President Akufo-Addo's presence at the Electoral Commission was to fulfill two mandatory requirements. First, the constitutional requirement which says that someone wishing to be president must be over 40 years and above, must be of sound mind, and also must be a Ghanaian. On the other side, there's a constitutional instrument 127 which says that before you file your presidential nomination form, you must have met all tax obligations. You must have nominated your running mate, and then you can present these documents. To ensure that these documents are within the region where the Electoral Commission accepts, the EC has put together two groups, a technical committee that will look at the documents submitted by the President, whether it meets all the requirements enshrined in Constitutional Instrument 127, and then an IT committee that will also look at the voters' ID card given to the candidates by the Electoral Commission, whether it is genuine. When these matters are addressed, then the Electoral Commission will be in a better position to pass judgment on the candidature of the person to stand on the ticket of whichever political party that the person wants to stand in the December 7th election.
We can hear from Madam Jean Benson on this particular committees that have been put together.
This year, the Commission has established two teams who have been tasked to review all the forms submitted. The technical team has been tasked to scrutinize the forms submitted to ensure that the presidential candidates meet the criteria as set out in the law, namely that the presidential candidate is at least 40 years of age, that he or she has satisfied all tax obligations, and that he or she has nominated a vice presidential candidate, among others.
Now, the EC chairperson, Jean Mensa. Now, Elton, I know that the president is not the only candidate expected to file nomination today. Who else are we expecting?
Well, according to the EC timetable, Hassan Ayariga of the APC is also expected today. Earlier, Jacob Osei-Yeboah, who is contesting the presidency as an independent candidate, came to. We are told that he says that he would rather be a running mate to the person who will lead his party. So we are waiting to see Hassan Ayariga's APC and then Joseph Osei-Yeboah, who is contesting as an independent candidate. Emefa.
We can hear from Jacob Osei-Yeboah.
All of us were given passwords to download the presidential form. We all did, and this year I think is one of the best in that we had the opportunity to give these passwords to our various regional coordinators for them to download it and then print their respective regions that they will be going around for the nomination. And so it made it easier. Apparently that has been the secret of us. Every election year, the moment we get the binded copy of the presidential form, we have to unbind it and then give it to our respective regional coordinators. After that, then we bind it and then bring it to the Electoral Commission. And so this year, it was easier for our team.
That's Jacob Osei-Yeboah now assisting an independent candidate after filing their nomination forms. We'll move from the election headquarters now. We'll get into it much later because the NPP's second vice chairman in the Mfantsiman constituency of the central region, David Awoche, has been exposed in the sale of subsidized outboard motors meant for canoe fishermen in the region. Government subsidized the outboard motors for the fishermen, but there are allegations that some party executives and party members have hijacked the machines and are selling them above the subsidized prices. Freelance investigative reporter Manasseh Azuriawene went undercover in the central region and has been revealing how some of the outboard motors got into the wrong hands.
Some fishermen in Elmina in August this year complaining about irregularities in the distribution of outboard motors the government subsidized for canoe fishermen. They said party executives of the governing MPP had hijacked the machines and were selling them at prices higher than the subsidized price. These allegations are widespread in the central region, but are often dismissed as untrue. I put a team together to go undercover to ascertain the veracity of these claims. The team came across people who were willing to sell the government-subsidized outboard motors in Abuesi in the western region, and Mori, Briwa and Apam in the central region. Prices quoted ranged from 14,000 to 16,000 cedis. At Briwa in the Mfansman municipality, we were led to the constituency women's organizer of the MPP, whom our sources said had some of the machines for sale. When we met her, she said she had sold hers, but directed us to a man who acted as a middleman for another seller of the subsidized machines. The middleman led us to where the machine was and insisted that the cost of the machine was 16,000 cedis and nothing less. That machine belonged to the MPP constituency second vice chairman, David Awoche. When the sale was sealed, we requested a receipt and he wrote it on an MPP notepad. When I called David Awoche later, he told me he had used the details of his late uncle's canoe to secure the subsidized outboard motors, even though he wasn't a fisherman.
The canoe is faulty, so it had to be repaired. The money used to buy the outboard motor was borrowed with interest, so we decided to sell the outboard motor and repair the canoe.
When I drew his attention to the issue, the Central Regional Minister, Kwame Nadanka, said he had instructed the Municipal Chief Executive of Mfansaman to act on the matter.
So once this came to my notice, immediately I got in touch with the Municipal Chief Executive for him to give me the background to that. And he did indeed say that this person who has come on the radar, that he's got one and has decided to sell it over and above the subsidized price, was indeed given one. But he was given one meant for relative fishermen. So I instructed that quickly bring this report to the police and let the police go and pick him up.
Now, Central Regional Minister Kwame Nadankan ending that report by freelance investigative journalist Manasseh Zuriawini. So we know that the outboard motors is supposed to cost 18,500, and with the subsidies, it's come up to 10,000 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive of the Coastal Development Authority, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, says Mr. Awoche's actions defeat the President's initiative to support the fisher folks. He spoke to Kojo Yankson on the Super Morning Show.
This is totally hogwash. It's out of place. Now, if you have an idea, the passion at which the president got us to procure these outboard motors under the IPEP, which is the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, you will not even appreciate one person trying to even sell a pack, let alone sell an outboard motor at this point. I'm so upset. I'm livid. I mean, you should appreciate the processes we had to go through to even get these outboard motors first of all.
That's Jerry Ahmed Shaib. He's the Chief Executive of the Coastal Development Authority, speaking on the Super Morning Show earlier today. Now, Chairman of the Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas, Dr. Steve Mantiao, is encouraging the Special Prosecutor to look into the allegations of nepotism when investigating the controversial Ejapa royalties agreement. Dr. Mantiao is particularly interested in the appointment of directors and legal advisors for the company. Now, his comments comes after the Ministry of Finance officially suspended the floating of the company shares after Martin Amidu requested to look into the deal to ascertain if any corruption is indeed involved. Listen to him speaking to Daniel Dancy on the Prime Morning on Joy Prime TV.
Issues that have been raised up for me border on corruption or corruption rates include the manner of appointment of the directors of the company. Concerns have been raised about cronyism, nepotism, and all that. Again, the process itself appears to have been opaque. Again, the manner of appointment of the legal advisors also raises some concerns. Again, nepotism, but also the fact that the process was not very open. concerns have been raised about the registration of the Japan itself in the tax haven and all that. So there are so many issues in terms of the concerns raised by citizens.
Does this put the matter to bed for you, Dr. Mantiao?
Not at all, not at all. We actually recognize that not all the issues of concern will be addressed by the investigation of the special prosecutor. There are issues bordering on the basis of the valuation of our royalties for the purpose of this transaction. There are also concerns about the choice of this model.
That's the chairman of the Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas, Dr. Steve Mantiao, speaking to Daniel Dassi on the Prime Morning on Joy Prime TV. Now, a total of 1,045 students out of 2,763 have passed the 2020 entrance examination to the Ghana School of Law. The 2020 results represent a 23% increase in pass rate of students as compared to last year's 93% recorded failure. Now, this significant turn comes after massive calls and protests for major reforms in the country's legal education system. In 2017, a Supreme Court ruling described the admission process into the Ghana School of Law, which included an entrance exam and interview, as illegal. But a new law passed by Parliament in 2018 gave legal backing to entrance exams as a prerequisite for assessing the professional law course. Law students say more must be done to eliminate barriers to gaining admission into the Ghana School of Law. Listen to SRC President Philemon La, who spoke earlier on the AM show.
This is a victory we take with some bit of caution. Caution because the reforms we ask for are sweeping. The reforms we ask for is not a 1 year admission of 1,045 students. We're asking for, not an overhaul per se, but a general reform in legal education. You recall that students have engaged robustly over the years to make sure that the reforms are seen in the Ghana School of Law and for those who want to enter the Ghana School of Law. So this is just one part of what we've been calling for. And as much as we are thankful for it, our position remains that reforms must be across board.
Well, let's just quickly go over some of these reforms again. Are you calling for no entrance exam at all?
We're asking that every LLB person.
And that's the SRC president for law students. Now, some prospective students have been also speaking to us on the issue
of legal education, and then be denied the opportunity to take the professional course. And we often ask ourselves the question that, what are we going to do with, the degree? So it is good news. However, even though the pass rate is up by 23%, it is still indicative that there exists a problem. And the problem is there are still people who would not enter. And by virtue of that, people still fail. And there is a chance that people will fail. So it's good news, yes, it ought to be celebrated.
Some prospective candidates for Ghana Law School are interacting with Joy News. We head to Parliament now because the House is almost empty this morning as the House resumes sitting from its 7-week break. A lot of MPs are in their constituencies filing their nominations. Adaklu MP Kwame Agboja, for instance, says the House should not have resumed sitting today. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us on the line with more. So, Joseph, what exactly is his reason for saying that Parliament should not have resumed today?
The members of Parliament, including Kwame Agboja, of the opinion that today is the day that MPs are filing their various nominations across the various constituencies all over the country. And today being a day that they are sitting as well, those who are coming from constituencies which are a little far away would have difficulty going ahead with the filing and showing up in order to come sit as far as proceedings are concerned. As we speak, the sitting has actually not begun. Everyone is still waiting, even as a lot more MPs come into the chamber as we talk.
I'm sure you've been attempting to count the number of MPs on the floor. Do we know?
Less than 20 of them, a few minutes ago, were actually present on the floor. There are the number of others who are walking about in the precinct itself, but on the floor of the House itself, there are just about 20 of them, even as everyone waits for the Speaker to come in and call in for proceedings to start.
But do we know what exactly the agenda for this meeting is?
A number of things on the agenda. The House is looking to pass an anti-money laundering bill, a very new one, which will tighten the old legislation to deal with, among other things, the concerns by the European Union that led to the Republic being placed on an EU watch list. The House would also looking forward to expecting the Finance Minister, Kenneth Ofori-Atta, to come present the budget for the first quarter of next year. And then the House will be dealing with, among others, the Cocoa Board Amendment Bill and 40 other bills before they rise.
That's parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku Gakpo. This is the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM, live on myjoyonline.com and affiliates across the country. We're also live on Facebook. We've been to the EC head office where President Akufo-Addo has been filing his nominations and tasking the EC chairperson to ensure that the 2020 general elections are credible, saying he doesn't want to be a winner of a crooked elections. Still to come, we'll head to the National Science and Maths Quiz semi-finals contest that's currently underway, and already Opoku Wari School has crashed Accra Academy, denying them an opportunity to reach the finals.
Fellow Ghanaians, since 2017, the NPP has put over 1.2 million young people through secondary school free because of free SHS. We are leaving no one behind. This December, remember your vote will make a difference in the life of every young person who is currently benefiting from free SHS or getting ready to go to secondary school. Let's protect our progress. Vote NPP. Vote Nana Akufo-Addo for 4 more years to do more for you.
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Klenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Aflao. In the Eastern region, we're on K Poly Radio in Koforidua. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sunmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, and Bolu FM in Bolu. In the Bono East region, we're on Gaskia FM in Techiman. In Bono region, we're on Sky FM and Parrot FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do sports now. Hansman Sando has the very latest.
Hi, Emefa. And President Akufo-Addo has directed the Youth and Sports Ministry to pay back an amount of $45,000 to Ghana's first boxing world champion, DK Poison, on compassionate grounds. Interestingly, the Joy News and Joy Sports documentary by Nathaniel Atto titled The Boxing Loan was aired yesterday on our various platforms. The $45,000 amount was willingly given to the Ghana government over 40 years ago out of DK Poison's purse for the importation of essential commodities during the harsh economic times experienced by the country at the time. DK Poison, who is now 78 years old, marked the 45th anniversary of his annexation of the world title on a quiet note on September 20 and is the main character in the documentary titled The Boxing Loan. The letter signed by the Secretary to the President, Nana Asante to indicate that the amount will be paid on compassionate grounds. Meanwhile, DK Poison has been reliving the memories of the 45 years ago when he arrived in Ghana with the world title.
People say, or what I would say, mixed feeling.
I see.
I started dropping. I didn't know what happened, but they said mixed feeling. I haven't seen some before. Honestly, I haven't seen some before. And I don't know. I don't think that is kind of crowd with this thing. The one crowd which I will compare it to is when Kotuka died. I don't know. Do you know him?
Kotuka died. Definitely.
Sure. The funeral.
Yeah.
People.
The airport was named after him. Yeah.
But people line up from the cathedral. If I may, from the cathedral to the Osuk cemetery. And mine is exception. Mine is different. They line up from Kotuka airport down to this hotel. How do you call this hotel?
Ambassador Hotel?
Oh, not Ambassador. Oh, okay. The one at the 37.
Yeah, Golden Tulip.
Beautiful. Then from then to Kakudi, Accra, down to it was something else which I can't find anything.
That's Ghana's first boxing world champion, DK Poison. Let's move on to party after party. Yeah. And excitement as Ghana midfielder Thomas Partey headlined the 12 deadline day Premier League transfers with his £45.3 million move from Atletico Madrid to Arsenal. The midfielder, who previously played for Tema Youth, will earn in excess of £200,000 a week.
Well, do you know him? Is he your friend?
I know him, but he's not my friend. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately for you, make good friends. And that's it for sports. Thank you very much, Hans. Now, the Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association wants government to engage them in policies that concern them, as they claim successive governments have failed to include them in issues of national interest. President of the association, Stevenson Ananibuating, was reacting to the ongoing debate about the Cocoa Roads project. Former President John Dramani Mahama earlier described as unjustifiable the move by the Akufo-Addo administration to abandon the Cocoa Roads project upon assumption of office. But President of the association says they know nothing about such projects, and farmers are yet to benefit from their years of sweat.
We are much concerned because, as we are, it's always been labeling cocoa roads. Cocoa roads are through farmers hard working. And for that matter, whatever they do concerning cocoa issues, we always say that the government should include us so that we can also know what we are doing to help the country. This country is only cocoa farmers who have been rejected, and any policy or any decision on farming cocoa issues, they don't include smallholder cocoa farmers. When it comes to political time, for instance, they always come and campaigning and making all this thing that we will vote for them, and they give a lot of promises, but they never do it. It is all about the fact that it is political.
Government has meanwhile rejected claims to spend $10 million to probe Cocoa Road projects constructed under the Mahama administration. We can hear from the Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahingedu.
I don't want to venture saying that they are liars. But no, I say I don't want to venture that, because in Parliament that will be unparliamentary. But they are not being truthful. I challenge them.
So how much was spent on this project?
It has not. It doesn't come anywhere near what they are talking about. We paid in cedis. They are making allegations. If they have the figure, they should produce it, and they should produce the records.
Can we have a range of how much was spent?
Please.
You won't give us a range?
Once they haven't been truthful to Ghanaians, I don't even want to go there.
Joseph Boahingedu is the CEO of the Ghana Cocoa Board. So old and current students of Accra Academy Bleu will have to defer their hopes of reaching the grand finale of the National Science and Maths Quiz for another year. Two-time winners Opoku Wari School crushed the Bleu boys in the first semi-final contest, denying them an opportunity of reaching the grand finale. Well, Maxwell Agbagba joins us on the line. Maxwell, wow, what a crushing defeat for Accra Academy. But we are looking forward to the Achimota School, Adisadel College and Keta Senior High School. What's the talk around it before it starts?
Well, Emefa, already all students of Achimota School at Adisadel College and Keta Senior High Technical School are at the quiz venue. Some NSMQ enthusiasts actually have some, predictions already, and they say that at Adisadel College they know how to get to the finals. That's true. They have been to the grand finale of the NSMQ more than any school. Now, in 2018, Adisadel College made their fourth consecutive appearance at the finals. But Emefa, history has a minimal role to play in NSMQ. It all has to do with the mental fortitude, of the contestants on stage, and that's why some of the people here are saying Achimota School super sub Ifwa Ansa will do her thing again. Now, in their quarterfinal contest, she helped Achimota School to beat Prempeh College.
Well, we're looking forward to that contest, and much later also Presec go on Kumasi Academy and a Bree Presby Senior High Technical School will slag it out, and it will all be live on the Joy News channel. What's trending on social media, Mapitso?
Well, before social media, have you ever wondered what inspired Joe Mettle to pursue a career in music? Well, he was telling Becky on E-Vibes that his grandmother's small scale credit union, popularly known as Susu Group, inspired his music career. So he'd go to his grandmother, he would be with them, and he would start playing drums, and most of his gospel songs were inspired by that. But also trending on Twitter is Accra Academy. It not be small trolling that they show.
Sorry for you.
Like by association. But let me just take one tweet from retired bad boy who says, "Go better school. You say you like Odoko Kaneshu, Opokuwari is lashing Accra Academy, #NSMQ semi-final.
And we're looking forward to the rest of the contest. And at 1, Amele, what's in
well,
business?
Later in business, Finance Minister reacts to actions taken by the European Union that put the country on the money laundering blacklist. We got all the details coming forward.
And that's it for the midday news. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. But after the break, though, we have Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil, When God Opens the Tap, Part 2. Stay.
When you want it.